Can you spend just a little bit of time talking about where you get your music from? You're not drawing from the traditional tunes. You're
No, I mean we often are.
But some of them, but it's just very. Yeah, tell me a little bit about where Great Bear Trio gets its music.
Sure. We are not much, although we do have some sets, but we're not much of a tune-oriented band. And kind of the reason for that is that, like, contra dancing isn't much of a tune-oriented dance. You don't, you know, you will dance the exact same way to you'll do the exact same dance to or any of the other 600 tunes that sound exactly like that. Mm-hmm. And so we don't really play those tunes. We play we play this, or you'll dance completely differently to and you can play the exact same tunes with either of those feels. So right? But dancers really, I mean, those are very different ways of dancing between those two tunes. So that's what we play. We play things that affect the actual way that people dance, and we'll put whatever little melody into that. But the melody is basically there just to amuse ourselves. I mean, it's there for sonic variety. It's there so it doesn't get boring. It's there to keep your place, but it's not really the important thing that we do. So sometimes we write those tunes, and sometimes we pick tunes that we know. But the melody is usually kind of secondary to the feel. And we've got a few different. Contra dancing isn't infinitely. It doesn't have. I mean, it does have edges. Like it has to be within a certain tempo range. Almost always has to follow a certain number of measures. So there are rules, but sometimes we'll do a drone. So something like that started out with just a single note, right? And that sets up dancers' expectations, because there had been, assuming that I've been praying previously, there have been lots of notes.
Yeah.
And now there's only one. And dancers go, oh, well, something's up. Mm-hmm. And so they calm down and they pay attention and they get a little quieter and they listen to the music a little more carefully because something changed. They start out with that. And I'm very, very careful about how I space this build. So, for instance, I'm going to do this walk down from my tonic, walk down my diatonic scale. And if I start, so here's the top. Now if I start right here, that that rhythm is going to come about half the space it takes to do your typical contra dance move. So people are going to hear that as like a walking motion. It's going to be something that they walk to, right? If I do this, this is the full length of a move. So this is going to be something that people swing to, if that makes sense, right? They're going to hear it in much larger sections. And also, if I do this, by just playing this one note, just doing that one note and playing it there, people know exactly how long this thing is going to last, because they can, you automatically in your head, you anticipate this rhythm continuing, right?
Yeah.
And so if I go here, there's no telling how long I'm going to keep this up, right? I could keep doing that forever, or I could do it just once, and it wouldn't really affect the dancers because they don't know what to expect. By doing this, now you automatically expect the next chord to be this chord, and you expect it to last exactly that long, and because I'm on a 5 chord that we're only halfway, so you already know that this, like, as a dancer, you can already project the end of this little mini arrangement to be, an entire B part away, right? So if A1 starts with a balance and swing, you're already looking forward to that balance and swing with just by placing one note in exactly the right place. And it's really great when that works because you do the work for you. Like you don't have to be building this sort of excitement or dynamics. You just do it here, and all the dynamics are already there because people are looking for them. So anyway, so I get this far, and I'll get here, and this is halfway. Now, to kind of continue to reinforce where I'm going with this, and to continue the arc, I'll the pattern is still walking down this diatonic scale, but I'll add, I'll change the rhythm. So this is a pretty smooth rhythm, and I would want people to be dancing pretty smoothly to it. As I get closer and closer to the moment where I'll switch back to playing more traditional music, or more not traditional, but of more of a plateau phase of the dance. I'll keep shrinking the rhythmic components. So instead of start out with something super long like this, and by the end I'll be going. I'll keep getting those chunks smaller and smaller and smaller. I mean, the most basic level where you learn this stuff is like listening to club music or techno music, because there's no situation in the world where people are more distracted than they are in a rock club. And to get music that actually connects with that crowd, you need to be extremely heavy-handed with your dynamics. So you hear it. They'll start out with a and that's how they get people's attention, shrinking intervals. I'm not really sure where we started with that, but that was I guess that was still more about phrasing. That seems to be what I want to talk about this morning.
No, well, You ready for breakfast?
Cool, yeah.
Good. So now I have one question for you.
Yes.
You're on film here. What do you think of the claim that the melody player really isn't of much importance in the band?
I've come to grips with it.
Yeah.
It's reality.
No, it's not the melody player. It's just the melody.
Oh, just the melody.
melody itself.
All right. Okay.
The melody player is quite important.